Hi, my name is USWATURROHMAH and my student number 021 and I'm from class A. So let's try IELTS speaking part 1. The question is, are you a student or are you working? At the moment, I am studying at University Muhammadiyah of Surakarta. I am in my third semester majoring in English education. Right now, I focus on my studies and work on improving my English skills, especially speaking, listening, and teaching to prepare myself for my future career as a teacher. Next, who made the decision about what they are currently studying? The decision was mainly made by myself. However, my parents also gave me support and advice. I chose English education because I am interested in the English language and teaching. In the end, I decide based on my passion and my plans for the future. Next, are you good at making decisions? I think I am quite good at making decisions, but not always. For simple a daily decision, I can decide quickly. However, for important decision, I usually take more time. I like to think carefully, consider the advantage and disadvantage, and sometimes ask other people for advice. Next, do you think you usually make the right decision? Most of the time, yes. I think I make the right decision. Of course, there are times when I make mistake. However, I believe mistake help me learn and grow. When I make a wrong decision, I try to reflect on it and make a better decision in the future. And the next, what do you think about the people who change their minds after making a decision? In my opinion, change your mind is not always a bad thing. Sometimes people get new information or realize that their decision is not the best choice. As long as there is a good reason, changing a decision can be a smart move. However, changing decision too often without thinking carefully can also cause problems. Okay, next, part 2. Describe an important decision you had to make. One important decision I have made was choosing my major at university. At the time, I had to decide whether I wanted to continue studying in the field of English or just another field. This decision was not easy because it would greatly affect my education and future career. During this decision-making process, I also considered my interests and personal strength outside the classroom. I am active in taekwondo and have participated in several taekwondo competitions. Taekwondo plays an important role in my life because it teaches me discipline, self-control, confidence, and responsibility. Through regular training and competition, I learned how to manage my time and stay committed to my goal. Therefore, I had to make sure that I could balance my university studies with my training schedule. Throughout this process, my parents and some of my teachers gave me a lot of support. They listened to my consideration, share their experience, and encouraged me to choose a path that I truly enjoy. They remind me that education is important, but personal development is equally valuable. In the end, I decided to major in English education at the University Muhammadiyah of Surakarta. Now I a third semester student. I feel confident and comfortable with my choice. I enjoy learning English, developing my teaching skills, and continuing my secondary training at the same times. This decision is very meaningful to make to me meaningful to me because it has shape who I am today. It motivates me to grow academically and personally, and to become a more disciplined, confident, and responsible person in the future. So next, part 3, IELTS speaking. The question is, do you think it is harder to make decisions nowadays because we have too many choices? Yes, I think it is harder to make decisions nowadays because we have too many choices. In the past, people had fewer options, so decisions were simpler and more direct. Nowadays, because of the internet and social media, we are exposed to many choices and different opinions. This can be helpful, but it can also be confusing. Sometimes people become afraid of choosing the wrong option, so they overthink and delay their decision. Having many choices can create pressure, especially for young people who are still trying to find their identity and future goals. Next, do you think young people today have different kinds of decision in their life compared to young people in the past? I think yes. I believe you people today face different kinds of decision compared to young people in the past. In the past, decisions were usually more traditional, such as choosing a job, getting married, or continuing the family business. Today, young people must decide many things at an early age, such as choosing a major, planning a career, managing social media, and balancing personal interests with academic or professional responsibilities. Technology and globalization have created more opportunities, but they also make life more complex. As a result, young people today need to think more carefully before making decisions. Next, what are the advantages of asking other people for advice when making decisions? There are many advantages to asking other people for advice. First, other people can give us different perspectives that we might not think about ourselves. For example, parents, teachers, or experienced people can share their knowledge and life experiences. Second, asking for advice can help us avoid mistakes, especially when making important decisions. It also helps us feel more confident because we know we are not deciding alone. However, even though advice is important, the final decision should still come from ourselves. Next, the question, why do you think some people are better at making decisions than others? I think some people are better at making decisions because they have more experience and confidence. They know how control their emotion and think logically. People who are used to facing challenges often learn from their mistakes and improving their decision-making skills over time. In addition, Good decision makers usually know their goals clearly, so they can choose what is best for their future. On the other hand, people who are afraid of failure, or lack self-confidence might find it harder to make decisions. Last question. Some people say that we only learn by making mistakes. Do you agree? Yes, I agree with this statement to some extent. Making mistake is an important part of learning because it helps us understand what is right and what is wrong. When we make mistakes, we gain valuable experience and becomes more capable in the future. However, learning does not only come from mistake. We can also learn from the other people's experiences, advice, and guidance. In my opinion, the best way to learn is by combining experience, reflection, and advice from others. So, thanks for listening to me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.